Hi guys, exeterrider, hope you've had a good week. Now this week I am reviewing the Royal Enfield Meteor 350. Right then, so first impressions looking at the bike here. It's a nice substantial looking bike, quite a long looking bike actually, for a nice low seat height. Got the heel and toe shifter down there as well, a centre stand as standard. A nice big decent wide seat, and to sit on you feel very at home straight away. Right, let's start her up. Okay, so this bike is from CMS in Exeter, Royal Enfield and Benelli dealers, and always have a good range of bikes on demo. So wow, this feels nice and light. Of course, a sprightly little thing. Of course, they got the new balancing shaft in the Meteor as well. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it through town and just get a general feel of what the bike is like overall in all scenarios. So far, I found it very, very light, very easy to manoeuvre. Gear selection is easy, I feel very comfortable, and the 19-inch wheel on the front, I've got a 17 on the rear, the 19-inch wheel does give you that real agile feel. And for filtering, this again will be very light, you can really flick this thing around. Getting away from the lights, yeah, it's not too bad. And you can't help but feel the large non-adjustable brake and clutch lever. They're chunky old things. Like I say, they're not adjustable, but you don't really need them to be. There isn't much of a reach on them, and they got a lovely feel about them, you know, nice and chunky and strong. And in fact, the switchgear overall is really nice actually. I love this starter here, the way you got the starter and the kill switch all in one place. For a bike that's under £4,000, can't go wrong really. And you got the 3 years roadside assistance and warranty. It's lovely to turn, a real pleasure. I'm hardly getting any vibrations at all. I guess I'm getting some through the handlebars and a little bit through the pegs, but the balancing shaft has made a huge difference. Okay, now obviously I haven't got a screen, so there's a certain amount of wind blast, but nothing too noisy. So there I am at 70. I would say that the bike is quite happy there. Well, again, with that Royal Enfield charm, I'm happy doing this. I'll just stay behind that caravan and I'll just sit here and enjoy the ride. I would expect the gearbox to be more clunky than this, but actually it's very positive and it hasn't missed a beat yet. And a lot of people were saying, oh, I like it, but I don't like the cruiser style seating position. But as a matter of fact, it's not what you think it is. I think a lot of people are thinking that it's going to be these, you know, sort of 8 bars, it's going to be up high and you're going to be quite uncomfortable and your feet are going to be, you know, perched up forward. But actually it's just not like that. Your feet are, or your knees are at a 90-degree angle, and it takes all of the weight off your legs. If I do this U-turn here, and yeah, just like that, and back the other way, and with the 19-inch front wheel on the front and the weight down low, and it being a light bike anyway, it's really easy. So the full lock on it is fantastic. Brilliant. Right, let's find somewhere to do the walk round. Okay, so the new Royal Enfield Meteor 350. It's a 349cc air and oil cooled engine. It produces 20.2 brake horsepower at 6,100 revs. So that's quite high in the rev range for this style bike to get the maximum out of it. Reality is it pulls along at lower revs better than what it does at higher revs. So keep it low down, keep the gear changing up in a high gear, and that's where its sweet spot is and where it rides the best. We've got 27 Newton meters of torque at 4,000 RPM. So this is the Fireball version. We've got the Fireball, the Stella and the Supernova. So the differences between those is the Fireball is available in red and yellow, and it's got a powder coated exhaust, powder coated engine, and the rims here have got the matching tape going around. This one's available for 3,749 on the road, which I think you agree is a pretty damn good price. That's pretty unbeatable, that. Next up, we've got the Stella, which is available in Stella Blue, red, black. And basically the differences are really, so it's got the lumbar support on the rear pillion rest there. So the Stellas are £3,829. Then we've got the Supernova, which are available in two-tone paint. So that could be a blue, black, or a brown and black. A lot of people are saying that the clutch is quite heavy. It's not heavy, not in the slightest. The seat height is accessible for all people at 765mm. We've got the foot pegs here as well, so you don't have any weight on your middle of your knee. Rear brake is in a lovely place, a very natural feeling type of place. I'm 5'8", I've got a 30-inch inside leg measurement, and I've got my feet flat down there with my knees bent. If you're tall and over 6 foot, it's not actually going to make any difference because your legs aren't up like this, they are out forward, so you'll just have a slightly higher knee position. You won't look silly on it. The bike is quite a substantial looking bike. So yeah, if you're a tall person or a short person, it fits all people very, very well. So sit on the back, see what that's like. It's a very thick feeling cushion of foam that we've got there, and it looks worse than what it actually is sat on it. When I'm sat on it now, it feels fine. When I looked at it, I thought it was a bit thin, but actually it seems fine. Front seat is very comfortable, nice and wide. You ride all day long on that. Right, so switchgear wise, we've got the hazards there. We've got this beautiful sculptured Royal Enfield starter button there, and basically you just switch it to there, like that, just like that. Starts first time every time. Then on the left side we have the horn, the indicators, which feel really good. They feel very, very substantial. Got a pass light there, which you just flick over, low beam, high beam. Basically we got a fuel gauge, a time, a gear indicator and a trip meter. On the other side we got the Royal Enfield Tripper navigation system there. That's universal, that can work on all platforms. No bike is perfect, we all know that. So what are the things I don't like about the Royal Enfield Meteor? Well, first of all, I can probably say safely that there's nothing I don't like really. There's a couple niggles which I find. The first one being that the hill shift, it's a little bit, it feels weird when you're changing down the gear, pushing it forward like that. Going up a gear is great, I don't mind that at all, but I just feel that bar maybe could be bent up a little bit further. I still prefer getting my foot underneath the gear change. Now this is probably something that Royal Enfield came up with and thought it might have been a good idea. It's a very noble and gallant effort. I think it was a good idea to try it. Unfortunately, I just don't think they pulled it off in this case. And the only other thing I don't like is the petrol cap is very, very chromy, plasticky on top. That's something which I think they should have done something about. Now, is it going to cause any problems? Probably not, I don't know. I mean, it does seem a little bit on the weak side. It might be fine, but You know, come on, you're not spending a huge amount of money. If this bike was 5 or 6 grand, like some of the competition, you know, for this style bike in this engine capacity range, I'll be complaining about it, but I'm not going to complain about it when it's a bike that's under 4 grand. And let's face it, in time, I expect there'll be aftermarket accessories for the gear shift. I can see people bringing out something to sort that out. And also the fuel filler cap maybe as well. So no biggie, it's just an observation. Just have a quick listen to the sound a minute. Sounds good. A lazy free running kind of sound to it. On the suspension side, now I'm on this rocky road, the front is quite soft and nice. The rear is a little bit on the harsh side, I would say. Although soft, and it does, the shocks are doing a good job. Because of the way that you kind of almost sat on top of the shocks, it is a little bit harsh. And although yes, it is only 20 horsepower, not particularly quick. I mean, first of all, it's not about that, you're missing the whole point. Secondly, you need to ride one to understand. Also, with it only being a 5-speed, which I would say is right, I think they made a good decision making it a 5-speed as opposed to a 6, because if it was a 6-speed, people would be saying that it's underpowered. But the 5-speed does suit it. They have got the ratio of that higher gear just right. So you've still got enough roll-on power. It will take you up to 70, slightly above. And it's just good for cruising. If you had a choice of taking this bike on a longer trip, let's say, I don't know, 150 mile round trip on a day, you would actually want to take the B roads as opposed to the motorway. And let's face it, on the B roads quite often you see a lot more anyway. So I mean, if I was going along the dual carriageway now, I wouldn't be seeing all this, would I? And the tyres have been really good. I had these the same branded tyre on the Hyosung Aquila GV125 that I test rode, and they were really good on that. I had that bike for 2 weeks, and Ceat make good tyres. I think that's fair to say now, judging by what I've had on this bike. They're also tubeless as well, so you can take a plug and go kit with you, and if you do get a puncture, then you know you're going to be able to get yourself going again. Also, what you got to remember as well is that this is in a very good tax bracket as well, because it's sub 400cc. You're only going to be paying £45 a year for tax, and that's quite nice when that comes through the door. And they're just asking for £45 as opposed to 90, well, nearly £100 now, £97 I think it is for a 500cc and above, or is it 600cc and above? Right guys, so let's get the bike back now. Now most of all, you wouldn't be watching this video if it wasn't for the very kind people at CMS Motorcycles in Exeter. If you're from around these surrounding areas, or even if you need to make a trip to see their shop, then pop down and say hello to them, because they are really nice, friendly people, totally not pushy in any way, and they've got a good range of bikes. You know, it's not all the none of the big 4 brands, but you know, Royal Enfield, SYM, Benelli, Bullets, they tend to do all those sort of bikes, so affordable bikes, I think that's the way I could word that. So yeah, go down and have a look, and as I say, they're a lovely bunch of people there. Yes, I'm a bit biased, but they really are. They really are a non-snooty, nice bunch of people. So thank you very much to them. I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you next Friday at 1 PM. If you haven't subscribed already, you know what it means to us YouTubers for a subscription, and every single one counts, so it would be much appreciated if you could join me on my further reviews this year. And if the review was any good, and if you could give it one of those as well, that would be fantastic. Thanks guys, see you next week.